It's not getting shared. Um, Somehow it's not getting shared. Why? Uh, okay, you're able to see the screen? Yeah, Mithun?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we have gone through all these things. Up to spherical contact we did yesterday. Okay. Cylindrical contact also we finished yesterday. And next is general contact. Okay. So spherical contact is done, cylindrical contact is done. So then we have now the general contact. When the geometry of the two contacting bodies is allowed to have any general curvature. Okay. That's very important. So if it is allowed to have any general, instead of cylindrical, spherical, there is no specification. Okay, so it can have any general curvature. Then the contact patch is an ellipse. Okay, basically it's an ellipse. So you'll have equation for ellipse, and the pressure distribution is semi-ellipsoid. Okay, so that is in any machinery which are in motion together. Okay, relative motion with each other, then it can have any general curvature, not just cylindrical or spherical contact. So that is the contact patch is taken to be an ellipse, okay? And the pressure distribution will be a semi-ellipsoid, okay? That's what the general contact is all about, okay? So now you note down this sketch, okay? There's an ellipse over here, so you have pressure across the ellipse, and this is where you are going to have maximum pressure, okay? Note down the sketch. బాగా మా ఇది మాట్లేదు finished yeah, is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for general contact, the contact pressure and contact patch is what we need to learn now. Okay. So here again, as usual, we need to find out P max. That's the maximum pressure, and is the center, and zero at the edge. Okay. This is what we have been learning. And the total load applied F will be equal to volume of semi-ellipsoid. Okay, so that's how you get F is equal to 2 by 3 pi a into B into P max. So from this, we can extract the value of P max. Okay, so we can extract the value of P max where A is what? A is half width of major axis and B is half width of minor axis. So in case of an ellipse, okay, you will have major axis and minor axis. See, if you see here, this is the half width of minor axis, whereas this is the major axis. Okay, so that is this length is major axis and this length is minor axis. Okay, for an ellipse. Okay, so this A is the half width of the minor axis, whereas B is half width of major axis because this is the major axis of an ellipse. Okay, so that is when you draw an ellipse, something like this. So you'll have this as major axis and this is called minor axis. So here in our discussion, this is the value of A and this is the value of B. That is half of the ellipse, not the full length. Full length, it is half width of ellipse. Is it okay? They are the values of A and B. So from there you will get the value of P max. And as usual, we know average pressure is given by force by area. So area will be for ellipsoid is given by pi into AB. So therefore you have P max is equal to 3 by 2 times, that is 1.5 times P average. Is that okay? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, note down this much now. Contact pressure and contact patch. So we have yet to go to contact patch. So what we have taken down is maximum pressure and average pressure. Please note down these equations. Okay, finished, huh? Did it finish?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, again, two geometry constants. Okay. So, what are those geometry constants? They are R1 and R2. So, this is what we have been taking for so long. Okay. So, R1 and R1 dash are the two radii of curvature of body 1, R2 and R2 dash. So here in comparison with the cylindrical and spherical contact, we have two radii for each of the body. So totally amounting to 4 radii, R1 and R1 dash, R2 and R2 dash. So in the earlier cases, we used to have only R1 and R2. Okay, and theta is the angle between the planes containing R1 and R2. So from there, we get contact patch A is equal to, okay, K into A cube root of 3F of M1 and M2. M1 and M2 are material constant as we know. So what are the equations for material constants? 1 minus nu1 square by E1 and 1 minus nu2 square by E2. They are the material constant. This we have learnt already in both cylindrical and spherical contacts. Ka and Kb, they are the values corresponding to phi in equation, and this will give you the pressure distribution equation. X by a square minus y by b square is essentially equation of ellipse. Okay, so this will give you pressure distribution, right? So what you can do is, so you can just note down the equation of contact patch A, okay, and the value of B here. Okay, that will give you contact patch dimensions A and B. Okay, because you have two contact patches over there. One is for off width of minor axis, and B is off width of major axis. Are you able to see the screen? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we are trying to find out the contact patch values of A and B. So in the all other cases earlier in general, I mean in cylindrical and spherical contacts, we used to have only one contact patch, that is A. But for general contact, we have got two contact patches A and B indicating the half width of minor axis and half width of major axis, that is B. So we need to find both values of A and B. So therefore, the values corresponding to A are R1 and R2, and then R2, R1 dash and R2 dash equations, right? So just note down contact patches equation A and B, where M1 and M2 are material constants. As usual, we have learnt in the previous discussions, correct? And K and Kb are the values corresponding to the phi. Okay, that is the angle. And this will give you pressure distribution equation. Note down only contact patch A and B and the pressure distribution P equation. Just note down the equations of A and B. And pressure distribution, P value. M1 and M2 are material constants, K and KB are values corresponding to phi. Is it over?
Yes, sir.
Note down these equations for normal distribution in general contact. Sigma x, sigma y, sigma z, of course, is like in our previous discussions of spherical and cylindrical contact. It is the opposite, I mean negative of P max. Okay. Nu is a Poisson's ratio. A and B are half width of minor and major axis respectively. Okay. So this equation, so we need to find out P max. Substitute over here to get sigma x. So with the P max with negative sign will give you sigma z. Okay, and then sigma y will give you from the once you find out P max. So how do we find out P max? Is by taking the average area, that is 3 by 2 times average area, I mean average pressure. So how do we find average pressure? Is F by area, that is F by pi into A into B. A is half width of minor axis, B is half width of major axis. Okay, so this is how we get P max. That P max we substitute over here to get the stress distribution in general contact. That is, we will find out sigma x, sigma y, and sigma z. Is that okay? Same for principle that we followed in cylindrical and spherical contact discussion. Okay, Mithun?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think Vinay and Srinidhi may not understand because they are absent for cylindrical and spherical contact. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Correct, Mr. Vinay?
Yes, sir.
If you are finished, we'll go to the next.
Finish.
Okay. Before we go to dynamic contact stresses, we'll just briefly go through what we learned in this chapter so far. Okay? Is that okay, Mithun?
Okay, sir.
So we'll go through what we learned a bit. So after adhesive wear part, we went with spherical contact. So again, we took total applied force will be equal to volume of hemisphere given by 2 by 3 pi into A square into P max. So from there we extract the value of P max, maximum pressure. Okay, this is what we have been doing. Then P average will be equal to F by area. So then from there we will extract relationship between P max and P average. Okay, and then we have got the geometry constants B. These are material constants M1 and M2. Okay, this is what I said just before. And then from here we get the equation for contact patch. So we find out P max over there. Okay, here we find out P max. Using this equation, we find out contact patch during spherical contact. And then accordingly, we are going to find out the stress values and solve few problems. So we solved these many problems in spherical contact. Then we moved on to cylindrical contact. Okay, so where two cylinders are rolling against each other. So at the point of contact, we'll have maximum pressure. Okay, so again, we took, so here the applied load is equal to volume of the half prism, right? So using that, we find out the equation for P max. Again, P average is force by area. So for a half prism, it is 2A into L will give you the area. Again, we find P max is equal to 1.273 times P average. Whereas in spherical contact, what was it? In spherical contact, it was Pmax was 3 by 2 P average. Okay. And again here it is 1.723, 1.273 P average. Is that okay? And then again, as usual, R1 and R2 are the radii of the two bodies which are in contact, and this is the geometry constant B. So we found out contact patch for cylindrical contact. This is the equation for contact patch. And then we solved few problems of overhead crane and rail wheel. Then we came to general contact. So how many contacts are there totally for us to learn? How many contacts so far? Yeah. What are the contacts that we studied so far? Yeah, someone? Mithun?
Sir, 3, sir.
Yeah, what are they? Spherical contact
Cylindrical contact and general contact.
and general contact. Okay. All right. So these are the three types of contacts, and then we solve few problems, okay, appropriately, and that is about the contacts. Now we have to study dynamic contact surfaces. Okay. So this is another important topic, that is second part of module 5 is the dynamic contact stresses. Okay. So what are the stresses that are developed and how to overcome them? Okay. So when rolling and sliding are both present, the stress field is distorted by the tangential loading. So what is the example for both rolling and sliding? Best example normally I give for rolling and sliding together is the tire on road surface. It is rolling about its own axis and also it is sliding, that is moving forward. That is, you have got both translation and rotation. Okay, so increased sliding will cause more distortion of the stress field. And now let's look at the surface fatigue failure models. What the surface fatigue failure models is all about, that is in dynamic contact. Okay, so failure initiation normally begins at imperfection, which may be on or below the surface. So what are the 5 different modes of failures in rolling contact is reasons for failure? Okay, inclusion origin, geometric stress concentration, point surface origin, peeling, and then you have got the subcase fatigue. Okay, these are the 5 ways or 5 different modes of failure in case of rolling contact. That is, one is inclusion origin, second one is geometric stress concentration, that is stress concentration due to variation in the geometry of the component. Is that okay? And then point surface origin, then we have got superficial pitting or it is called peeling, like oxide layer that forms and we can peel like layers. So that is what is called as peeling or superficial pitting, and subcase fatigue. So in case of case carburized components, we observe such subcase fatigue failure. Okay, just note down these sentences. Following are the 5 different modes of failure. Okay, note down this much. That is, up to this, you please note down. Different modes of failures in rolling contact are inclusion origin. So wherever inclusion, okay, inclusion is nothing but a foreign particle being present. Then geometric stress concentration is stress concentration that is arising because of geometrical variations like stepped shaft, okay, or presence of a notch, and so on, and the type of contact that the members in motion will have. So they all fall under geometric stress concentration. Just note down this much. Finish, huh? Finished?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dhanush, please read these 5 modes of failure.
The different 5 modes of failure in rolling contact are inclusion origin, geometric stress concentration, point
Mm.
surface origin,
Mm.
peeling,
Okay.
subcase fatigue.
Okay. Now let's look at one by one. Okay. So what is inclusion origin? So this we have learned a lot in our module 3. Okay. It's basically describes mechanism for crack nucleation or initiation. Okay. And it is assumed that crack originates in shear stress field at subsurface where there is a presence of foreign matter, that is inclusion. Okay. That is inclusion of some foreign substance in between. Okay. So then commonly identified inclusions are oxides of the material that are formed during processing and were captured within it. Okay. So if there's a presence of foreign matter within the component, okay, they all form or they will become reason for crack nucleation. Okay. These are hard and irregular in shape and create stress concentration. So propagation of crack from inclusion results in pitting. Okay, so that means we'll have small dots present on the surface. So this is about inclusion origin, that is inclusion of foreign matter. Next comes geometric stress concentration. This is bit larger topic. Stress concentration that is arising out of geometry of the component. That is, geometry of the component is its thickness, diameters, chamfering or length of contact, point contact. All those things matter in case of stress concentration that is arising out because of geometry. So this mechanism can act on a surface when one contacting part is shorter axially than the other. Okay, and here pitting will likely to occur at that location. So that is this entire line contact that you can see in the picture. Okay, so this is a shorter roller that is on the top, and this is the mating roller which is larger in size. Okay, so this mechanism can act on, so that's what shorter roller create the line contact stress concentration in the mating roller as shown in figure. So this is the shorter roller that we have got. So this have line contact over here on the larger roller. So such contacts will induce pitting or spalling will likely to occur at that location where there is line contact. Now we have to overcome this line contact because below that you have got stress distribution, right? So now to overcome this line contact, what we can do is we can make it into a crowned roller. Let's see how that crowned roller looks like. This is what a crown roller. To overcome the problem over there, okay, so we can make rollers crowned one, okay, which have larger crown radius, okay, like this. So that means we have avoided line contact and we have made a crown, okay, there. So the stress which was in rectangle, something like this, so this area of the stress is eliminated when you make rollers into a crown shape. But however, at later loads, there will be reduced contact area and thus higher stresses at the center because of reduced contact. At higher than the design load, the stress concentration at the ends will return. That is, at the ends again, it says the stress concentration will return as the load is more and more. So to overcome this problem of crowning, so they have introduced what is called as a partial crown. So the stress concentration will come at transition from straight to crown. So stress concentration will come from straight to crown. Somewhere there you will get stress concentration being present. Right now, so this is partial crown roller. So basically what we are trying to understand is the geometry of the components will induce stress concentration, which leads to what? Which leads to failure mode or modes of failure. Okay. So one of the modes of failure is geometric stress concentration. How geometry of each of the component would affect or will contribute for the failure of the component is what we are trying to understand, especially in case of rolling contact. Is that okay? So this you can imagine to be a roller bearing, where you have got a roller which is a shorter roller. Okay, it's a roller bearing essentially mating with a larger roller over here. So they will have line contact. Such line contacts will give rise to pitting or spalling at that location. So to overcome this line contact, what did they do? They went through for crowning. But of course, at later loads, you will have more load at the center, and a lot of stress has been reduced by doing crowning operation. So again, there will be some amount of higher stresses at the center. So again, to overcome that, so they had one partial crown. So again, stress concentration will come at transition from straight portion to crowned portion. So various geometries will have different problems, right? But we can reduce stress concentration by having proper geometry of the rollers. Are you there? Are you there? What you do?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What you do? Please note down the sketch. This is rolling contact. Please note down only the sketch, nothing else. Zero roller, stress, mating roller. This is a shorter roller. Finished with the sketch? Take the next sketch. This is the crown roller and this is partial crown roller. This is the stress. Please note down the diagrams. Crown roller, this is partial crown roller. Finished, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what we have seen is a straight roller, ground roller, and partially ground roller. Then there are two more contacts. One is called the logarithmic curve. Okay. So the contact looks like a logarithmic curve, something like this. Okay, that is, it will be something like this, right? So logarithmic curve on the crown will give a more uniform stress distribution under varied load levels. So this is about logarithmic roller. Okay, so please note down logarithmic roller sketch. Please note down this logarithmic curve. So finally, the logarithmic curve on crown will give more uniform distribution of stress under various load conditions. That's what it all means. Is that okay? So we learnt about logarithmic curve, we learnt about partial crown, full crown, and then a straight cylinder. Please note down this sketch. Logarithmic roller. Finished, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Srinidhi, you're there? Srinidhi? Mithun?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Srinidhi, you're there? So what are the four
sir, I'm
different contacts that leads to stress concentration? Yeah, please
We learnt
tell
about
the four contacts.
logarithmic
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, we pitting or spalling one we found, sir. Geometric stress
Yeah,
concentration.
the first one is what? This is what type of contact that we learned here? What is the type of contact that we have here in the first one?
Sir, mating shorter
Shorter
roller.
roller on a longer mating surface and is essentially a line contact. Okay, please remember.
Line
Yeah, it
contact.
will have line contact. Okay, so what is the type of failure that line contact will lead to? It will lead to pitting or spalling. Correct?
Pitting or
Okay,
spalling.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Vinay Gowda, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to overcome this problem of pitting due to line contact, what is the solution they found out next stage? What did they make with the roller?
I didn't make a point.
So to overcome the problem of pitting in line contact, they modified the roller to what shape to reduce stress concentration?
Crown shape, sir.
Yeah.
Crown shape.
Okay, crown roller. Okay. So even after making crown roller, what was the problem? What was the problem? Even after making crown radius of curvature,
Contact.
yeah.
What did contact surface, sir?
Okay.
Contact of the roller is in stress induced.
Okay. Dhanush,
Yes, sir.
reduce the stress because of lighter loads. The roller is modified into
The shape of the roller has been changed, sir.
change it to what type?
Um,
Partial crown roller. Okay.
Partial ground. Yes, sir.
Partial crown roller it was made. Okay. But even then there was a stress that was coming, stress concentration that was coming. At what location?
At the edges, sir.
At the edges.
Edges.
That is, in theory, it is transition from straight to what? Straight to crown. You can see the screen and I'm drawing there. You can understand it better.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So stress concentration come at the transition from where to where? From straight to?
From straight to crown, sir.
Okay, that is at this junction. Correcta?
Yes, sir.
Correcta, Srinidhi? Correct? Okay. Mithun?
Sir,
So to overcome all these problems, what is the
Yes, sir.
final type of roller that they designed?
logarithmic roller.
ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಲಾಗರಿಥಮಿಕ್ ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ.
Logarithmic roller.
ಬಾಯ್ ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ್ ಓದಿಲ್ವಾ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಓದಿದ್ರಾ?
ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
Okay. So it is logarithmic curve. So what is its advantage, Mithun?
Stress distribution is uniform.
Yeah, it will give uniform stress distribution under varied load levels. Okay, right on. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next is point surface origin. So that is the next mode of failure for rolling contact elements. So it's a manner of crack propagation. Basically, point surface origin is a manner of crack propagation than crack initiation that an inclusion or near the surface may be responsible for starting the crack. Okay, this is what is important. Then once present and if pointing in the right direction to capture oil, the crack rapidly propagates to failure. So once spalling or pitting starts, so the debris can create new nicks to serve as additional crack sites. So basically, it's a point surface origin. So it's an origin for starting the crack. Okay, it's the origin to start the crack, and if it is properly directed, then it will be detrimental. To capture the oil, the crack rapidly propagates to failure in the right direction if it is there to capture the oil. Okay, this is what is called as point surface origin. Okay, so next is peeling. So peeling refers to a situation of fatigue cracks at shallow depth and extend over a large area that the surface peels away from the substrate. You know, like it is like peeling. You know, what is that called? ಎಲೆಕೋಸ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಶ್ರೀನಿಧಿ? Any idea?
Sir, cabbage.
Cabbage, yes, excellent. Thank you. Who said this?
Sir, Dhanush, sir.
Dhanush, that's what I studied in Kannada medium, so these vegetables names will not come automatically. Anyway, so cabbage we peel, no, layer after layer. Very similar to that, you will have metals getting peeled because of oxide formation. So that is what is called as failure of contacts by peeling. Then comes the last one is subcase fatigue. It is also called case crushing, occurs only in case hardened parts like gears. Gears, most of the components are case hardened. Case hardening in the sense the hardness will be to a depth of only 0.8 mm. Okay, below that it's all soft condition. So in the case so thin that subsurface stresses extend into softer, weaker core material. That's what I said. In case of case hardening, only the case, that is the surface up to a depth of 0.5 mm will be hardened. Remaining material below that will be softer material. So if the case is so thin, that is instead of heat treating it to 0.5 mm, if they heat treat it to only 0.1 mm, okay, what will happen? The subsurface stresses will extend into softer and weaker core material. So the fatigue crack starts below the case and eventually causes the case to collapse into failed subsurface material. Is that okay? Could you understand what is subcase fatigue is all about? So during heat treatment at the surface, if they reduce the heat treatment depth from say 0.8 or 0.5 to 0.1, what will happen is anything below 0.1 mm in the material is going to be softer material. Okay, so because of softer material presence, if there is a slight increase in stress, then the stress will propagate through 0.1 mm and below, where the metal is soft, and the stress will and the fatigue cracks will start, and then eventually leading to failure. Is that okay? Could you get what is subcase fatigue is? You understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So subcase fatigue, subcase fatigue, peeling, point surface origin, geometric stress concentration, and inclusion origin. These are the 5 different modes of failure in rolling contact. Please remember, in rolling contact, these are the 5 different modes of failure. Is that okay? Fine.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll continue on Monday with the remaining part of module 5. Okay? Right, and
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I will share with you the marks that you have scored. Of course, all of you have scored 9.67 out of 10. So that I'll share with your whatever mail IDs that I got last time. I think I have mail IDs of only 4. I'll share with them. Remaining 3, please take it from them. Okay? All right. Okay then. Bye.
Okay, sir.